Reaper works fine. All right, chat. So basically, you are a low Masters Winston, high Diamond Winston. This is Noombani. Yeah. You went into this game hopefully with a couple of focuses and a couple of things that you wanted to work on. What were those things? Do you remember? What have you been working on this week in general?
So it was bubble timing and engagement timing.
Okay, and that's right. Right, so you had the question about engagement timing, like making sure that you're going in at the same time. Now, what do you mean by bubble timing? Like, what were some examples of things bubble timing wise that was bad that you were trying to address? What were you trying to accomplish with your bubbles in a really general sense?
Well, for example, on Route 66, the VOD you reviewed before, I didn't block the Ash coach gun, and I effed up the bubble, and I bubbled when I got knocked off high ground.
So just being more like clinical and thinking about it more.
Yeah.
Okay, good. And that's the thing is like trial and error works fastest when you're actually trialing. If you're just accidentally, walking into random corners and like slamming your head into the wall again and again, then you're not going to figure it out fast enough. But if you're thinking, okay, that didn't work out, why didn't it work out? What can I do better? And that helps a lot with self-VOD review as well. You'll learn faster. Okay, so bubble timing, engagement timing, we will analyze that, and then if anything else big shows up, then we can know, like, if your bubble timing is not the worst thing, then we'll find something else to work on. So if at any time you want to pause, the nice thing about Q is you can click the pause button and it should pause, and then you can draw, you can do whatever. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, let's get started. Okay, we'll skip. Don't know comp, unfortunately. I'm sure you do. I hope you do. Okay, why is your composition important? Just like without knowing what it is, what about your composition? Why is it important to you? What your team is running? You there?
Because
Here you go. Let me put it this way: if you're running a Moira versus running a Zen or an Ana, what's the difference in that?
Well, if you're running a Moira with a Winston, the Winston has to peel for heals, but with Zen he can heal long range.
Right. So just like little things like that. If you have a Genji, a Tracer, maybe you can actually set up dives. If you don't, then you can't really set up, hardcore going in with your jump dives. You have to be a little bit more patient. So just like starting to piece things together. Okay. Bang. Okay, right now I need a tap. I need a tap right now. So you're kind of scouting right here, but there's no point doing this right now because what you're doing right now is two things. One, you are scouting inefficiently because it takes you this long for you to find out what the enemy team is running. You might as well just press tab, right? Because you'll do so perfectly without having to go, is that a soldier? Is that a McCree? That's only 3 of them. I think a Hanzo is over there. Where are the supports? You see how that's telling you where they are, but it's not telling you what they are? You might as well just press tab and figure this out yourself, right? And then what's the second bad thing about you being here right now before you press tab?
I can already take a buttload of damage.
Right, they can already see you. So, your little sneaky pathing here, maybe you see they have a Zen, you press tab, you're still hiding to our right here. You press tab, you see they have a Zenyatta, and you go, okay, they're running a Zenyatta, they're running an Ana. I can maybe solo dive that as long as it's away from this core, right? And then you start to go, okay, like now I'm going to start looking for it, because the second I see it, that might be a split second where I can immediately make a decision already knowing what I have to run. So instead of making 2 calculations, you're only making 1 because you made 1 over here. You made 1 over here while you're hiding, while you're waiting. Because if it's going to take you 15 seconds to see what they're running, you might as well not show yourself. You might as well try and hide and then get the information for free without taking any damage.
Yeah, I was just thinking about going with Tracer instead of that.
Fine. So again, we still don't really know what they're running in full. Like we saw a soldier, but you're only flash and tab for me, which means that, if I can't figure out what you're doing and I'm sitting here studying this, then you sure as heck don't know what they're doing, right? Because you're doing this while you're thinking about moving, while you're thinking about your cooldowns, while you're thinking about your plan. You definitely don't know all that they're running. Am I correct in saying that?
Yeah.
I mean, you don't know the support lineup. I mean, I saw Ana very briefly flashed on your screen, but I hardly know that you know that. Okay.
I was thinking. Instead, I thought my Tracer was gonna come through the back, so then I just jumped up.
Yep. So sometimes you'll see tracers come around the back, and this was like the old school dive way where you put your supports here, they'd get dove, they'd drop off, and then you'd put your tracer behind, and then you'd pincer them behind. So I respect what you're trying to do with your tracer. That's fine, but you're doing it off of a bad foundation of you don't know what they're running, so you don't know what your job is. It's impossible. Like you told me that you're like, okay, they were running hog, so I was trying to flank a lot. And that's great, but that still doesn't answer the question of like, well, what are you going to do here? Because this is Numbani. You can't just walk up behind them and zap them. You do have to commit jump, and you have to figure out how you want to commit jump here. So like right now, right? So do you see what this is right here? What happens right here? What is this Ana choke on doing?
Sleep.
She just chokes the sleep. Okay, this is like me sleep, right? You know, like this is
bad.
bad.
That sleep for free, but
right?
She missed it.
You gave her the sleep for free, and if we dive deeper, why do you give her this sleep for free? Is it that you just didn't react fast enough? No. Nope. Why were you?
I didn't know what the comp was.
You didn't know that they had an Ana. You didn't know that you had to think about sleep dart. So you're setting yourself up for failure. A lot of the times, people will send me questions of like, oh, my reaction time is too slow. Could I get the GM? And the answer is yes, absolutely, especially playing main tank. You just have to be smarter. And to be smarter, you have to have the right information. You don't have to be a 9,000 IQ person to be a top level main tank. Look at XQC, for example. But like honestly, like if you know they have an Ana, then you jump this and then you bubble early, and then there's zero chance of her sleeping you. Zero chance. The Hog will look at you, the Soldier will look at you, the Orisa will look at you, the Ana will look at you, they'll miss their cooldowns, you'll block hook, you'll drop off for safety, and then all that time your team will have that opportunity to do something. Right?
Yeah, and I also mistimed this with the Tracer. With my Tracer.
Yeah, so here's the thing. It's like you could put like engagement timing is there's a large grace period with engagement timing. So like let's put it this way. This is your team in spawn, this is the fight is over. As long as you're jumping somewhere in between here, I'm fine. Because what's going to happen is you're going to try and wait and wait and wait for the perfect moment, and it's not going to happen. It's the same explanation I have when I'm explaining to like silver main tanks, gold main tanks. Don't wait for your whole team to be here to push in. Because what's going to happen is you're going to be standing at choke. Wait, guys, and then your McCree dies. Wait, guys, and then your Ana dies. Wait, guys, and your Hanzo dies. Wait, guys, and McCree. Right, so just as long as it's kind of the right time, as long as you've got 5 people alive, or most of your team is ready to push, good enough. That's good enough. You can't be overly picky. So like if your Tracer's already recalled out, this isn't a GM game. That's fine. Just go in. Your team is there. I mean, like, we can skip back here and see that we've got people here, and there's somebody here, and there's somebody here. So clearly your team is in a position to do something. So yeah, the timing of this jump is fine. Like you have to choose your battles. Don't be nitpicky about little things that aren't that important. So anyway, we bubble a little late here simply because we're caught off guard. And to be honest, I think we drop a little early too. I understand you were scared of hook, but I think you could have greeted it just a little longer. But either way, engagement's decent. We do need to jump out. Grab Mega. Okay. We need to go back in again when we have our cooldowns.
I was thinking of jumping Hanzo here.
Sure.
Which he was...
Why are you jumping Hanzo here?
He's alone, and my team is distracting the enemy team, so it's a free kill for me.
Yes, sir. Free kill. I want to look at your mechanics here. Did you melee cancel that? It doesn't look like it. You did. Okay, so then that was a good melee cancel. Now our tracking here is a little... We lose it for a split second, but whatever. Little gimpy, but okay.
I shouldn't have reloaded there either.
Let me look at this again. So yeah, there's like a lot of tiny little things. So like you're tracking here, leading, like you jump and then you lose them for a second, which is important. I am glad here. So we take a lot of headshots there, which is unfortunate. But it is what it is. We drop down. This is a good jump. It's a little bit of a risky jump, but we need to land a good melee cancel there. Good bubble. Yeah, the reload was definitely unnecessary. Jumping back up the high ground. I hope we melee cancel that as well.
Yeah, I do my melee cancels like last second, so you can't see.
Good. Yeah. No. Right. No, that's good. I'm just making sure that is you. It's like for me, it's like 90% of Winstons aren't gonna do it, or 10% of Winstons are just doing it so well that I don't even see it. So I want to make sure that you're part of this 10% here. So I'm glad to hear that. This position is great because this is you're literally shooting them for free, and you still have your cooldowns. So hopefully we see the damage we're taking to our left. Bang, nice. I don't mind you greeting Bubble into that. Why?
I thought she'd sleep me.
Yep, exactly. So perfectly acceptable. Okay. Nice. Just drop. Bang.
Cancelled my reload with melee there, by the way.
Okay, let me see here.
Because I almost screwed up my reload.
Yeah. That was good. I'm gonna see if this was necessary. I don't like
Probably
this.
wasn't.
So first thing, talk to me about. This is fine. This is not fine.
I thought I'd get hooked.
No, I know what you're saying. I understand why you dropped back, but what you did is you took yourself from a position to where you could immediately access their backline from either this direction or this direction. You rotate around to where you could only access front line. Right?
Yeah.
So you went from the fear of hooking, which was a legitimate fear, but then you're like, instead of just backing off, you walk to here. This is worse. This is more dangerous from you. Yes?
Especially with Matrix there.
Yes. Yeah. There's no benefit to you being here as opposed to being here, or even directly in the backline. If anything, it makes it more difficult because not only are you at a greater risk of being, killed, you're walking into their front line, which I don't have to explain to you is a bad idea as a monkey.
Yeah.
Bad idea. So inefficient. And their backline, like this is a good way to get your nano monkey survived because their Batiste will hard pocket, their soldier will pummel you, and then you could theoretically die here. Now they're diamonds, so they're not going to punish that hard enough, but very, very risky move. Primal's fine. Arguably not necessary if you've been positioned properly. That's hilarious.
He actually makes it back up.
Wait, what? What is this man? What the heck? Oh my gosh. Okay, so you didn't give yourself information in terms of where and when you needed to where and what you needed to engage because you didn't scout the composition. Yes.
Yeah.
You then also chose to, instead of dropping on backline, you chose to drop on the front line, which is always a mistake. It's more dangerous to you, and it's less of an offensive threat. So it's like you take more damage and you do less damage, and that's a terrible trade-off. And that's basically what we've seen so far. You have a good idea. I liked your pathing there. Your pathing was phenomenal. Your melee cancels so far seem to be good, taking your word for it. That's that. Does Spilo have a comb over? Crap. I just got out of the shower. Take it easy, Mom. Okay, so you are doing what every good tank should do, and I hope that you continue to do it. What are you doing right now?
Flanking without being caught.
Flanking without being caught, and more importantly, taking space that you've earned. If they have respawns a million miles away, you could start on high ground. You can start on high ground. If one of them gets like really greedy and comes up forward, you could try and 1v1 them, or just wait until the team fight, and you're already in position and also catch it by surprise. So I don't even like you being on. I don't actually like it's so close to being good. What could we have done better here? Where could we be, or where could we have pathed that would have been better on your screen?
Around the left side of the map.
Well, use your pen. Use your pen. I want you to use your pen, and I want you to argue this with me.
Around this side.
Okay. Why?
Because I'm further in their backline, and they have to turn around and possibly commit to me.
Okay. Sure. You're also closer to the targets rather than this open space getting there. I would also argue that taking the doorway to your left here and going up and hiding in here and then going up to the balcony would have been better as well. Because again, the question now is, can you actually close this distance without using jump? And I don't know. What's probably going to happen is you're probably going to jump on high ground and then drop, which is what I would do. But it would be better for you to be on the high ground to begin with. Now, you'd have to be careful not to peek over the edge. You'd have to kind of crouch, maybe even hide here, and then walk out and drop. But either way, that would have been, or your suggestion would have been better than where we are right now. Yes?
I thought that, yeah. I thought the...
Sorry, you cut out?
Like,
what is it?
From here to there, I'm probably going to take a lot more damage than necessary.
If you anticipate them to come out high ground, like if their soldier comes out high ground, then yes. But you also have to think about it this way. If their soldier comes out high ground and you're hiding here, what can you do? If their soldier... Yeah, you could jump him. Because he's if he's by himself, go 1v1 him. Go 1v1 him. One of two things will happen. You either kill him or he drops off of high ground. Either way, it's a win for you. And then you could get pocketed from your Ana, from the high ground, and then dropping them and do the exact same thing. So either way, I don't really want to split hairs here. You going around left side would have been fine too. You going here too. But this is like you're putting yourself here in a position to where you have to use cooldowns to get there. And that's not what you want to have to do, especially when they're on the low ground. There's no reason for you not to be on high ground right now. So here we go, going high ground as expected. There you go. Like, dude, we literally predicted that, right? The problem is you came from an awkward angle and you had to commit jump to get there. Now, would you have had to commit jump to this Ana if you had been on high ground? Yes. You couldn't have just walked here, right? But what would have happened is you would have been able to land your, get your landing damage, and you would have been aware of like what was there before it got there. So you're kind of blind jump this, and it's not great. But hey, look at that. Nice. What did you just do?
Dodge sleep.
You dodge sleep, and look where she is.
Yeah, she's on low ground.
She's on low ground. She's ineffective. She's less effective. She's in more danger. Soldier's now shooting you. Look at this hog. This hog's turning around at you now. This hog's looking at you. The soldier's shooting your bubble. So you've got an option now. I'm just curious to see what you do here. Hey! Check it out! What did we do?
Stayed on high ground.
And what did the soldier do?
He dropped.
So now you got a 2-for-1. So now the soldier's at a crappy position. The Ana's at a crappy position. You are at full HP. And you've got jump, or excuse me, not primal. You've got jump back in a second. So it wasn't the best positioning, but it was better than most. And it was good enough for you to get this. Beautiful. Very nice. Like this right here, this is the big brain mind games. This is you making a good decision, not the best decision, but a good decision, and you see it paying off. Nice. No! You didn't have to do this. You earned this position, So like, what are you scared of right now? What are you scared of? I can read your mind. What are you scared of?
Hog hook.
Your hog of hog hook. So what can you do differently now? Instead of jumping all the way back to your team?
I could stay on high ground or like go back into the...
There's stairs right behind you.
Above this, yeah.
Yeah, the stairs right behind you. I mean, if you wanted to be even like super greedy, you could even like... This again would not be best case scenario, but you could even, like once a soldier had dropped, you could have jumped over here.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Here or this room here in the stairs. Either one of these two places would have worked. So don't give up your positioning, because if that hog goes up the stairs and starts to chase you, or the soldier starts to chase you, nice. You win. You just keep hiding. You keep running around, playing a ring around the rosy. It's going to be tricky, and he might get you every now and then, but you earned this spot. You earned the right to be here. And like think of it as like you'll be continually tanking without doing anything, because if you're at high ground and what are they gonna do? Are they just gonna go, oh okay, well he's there, let's just keep shooting the front line? Nah, they're gonna be like sitting there like, holy cow, is he still behind us? Where is he? No, he's got ball. No, where is he? They're gonna keep turning around. They're gonna keep looking for you, and you won't have to do a single thing. And that's all, and there you go, and you've done your job. And you'll continue to do your job until you get your bubble back, and then you'll do your job even scarier, right? So you earn the spot. Don't give it up, right? Like this is like, I don't want to skip back, but this is the exact same concept as this right here. You get the kill.
Yeah.
You have earned this spot, right? You've earned this spot, but you gave it up. Right? You gave it up. And you could have stayed in high ground here. You could have dropped on this spot. You could have dropped on the back line. You earned the right to get to the back line. And instead, you just gave it up. You just walk out in front. So it's obviously not the exact same concept, but it's very similar. The fact that you make a good positioning decision, and then you just let it fade away, and it's gone. So, disappointing.
I'm playing it a bit too safely.
Yeah, you're playing it too safely, and it's not that you're not even that you're playing it too safely. It's like you're not any safer doing what you just did. You know what I'm saying? If anything, jumping out there is more risky because theoretically, maybe he's a god hog and he hooks you on the jump, right? Whereas if you duck back, just like you did on first, not only are you in a better offensive position, there's no way he can hook you. So there's literally no drawback. You're not any safer jumping out. So, again, we're pathing in a way that we're not utilizing high ground. Like, there's zero use for you.
A lot easier.
Yeah, and once more, what was the original rotation you talked about? That would have worked too. Because in that situation, you're already very close to them, right? So your gun range isn't isn't a problem. Because you're already on top of them. So, I mean, look at this. Like, this is the kind of stuff, like, can you imagine Hog Hook coming up here, or, like, a Helix Rocket? Like, that's what would have been the case if you had just stayed up here earlier. Good. 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 What does this rotation accomplish? Say it. What does being here accomplish? Than where you just were.
I'm able to drop on their backline if they decide to push, and I can also distract and make them waste cooldowns.
Right, exactly. Like the fact that they would waste cooldowns on you means that you're scaring them, and if you're scaring them, you're doing your job as a main tank. That's what a main tank does: is scare people. Okay. And you being here is a threat to their backline because you're right. If they do push to contest card, you're immediately accessible to them. So this makes this a good position. Right? Just like with a Reinhardt swinging on the enemy Reinhardt or the enemy, tanks or whatever, like that's scary. That's what a Reinhardt has to do. Just like an Orisa holding a sightline and she's got a gun, and you have to respect that. So you're demanding respect, and if they don't respect you, you kill them. You could grab the mini here if you'd want. You've probably got time. I don't know the status of. Okay, so I mean this right here. So this is probably a lost fight. I think you're down one or so still, but they are taking engagement. Your team is clearly within engagement range. You're probably gonna die here, but I don't hate. This decision's fine. Probably aren't gonna win this fight, but hey, you know what? Fine, sure. They whole hog you. Yep, that was 1, 2, 3, 4 ults. Fine. And your team was still not grouped up and not really in a position to push. So, well, let me put it this way. They were in a position to push, but you weren't really in a position to win that fight. But I don't have a problem with anything that just happened there. Right? It's fine. You did your job. Your team was basically ready to push and all in a position. You took an engagement. They used more ults than they needed to, and that was that. Are you listening to opera?
Well,
are you? No. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Now expound. Yes. And.
Okay. Well, I guess I listen to different ranges of music.
Okay. Sounds like me.
Not like specifically up.
So people make fun of me because I work out to classical music.
I love classical music.
Classical music is phenomenal. I'm a big fan of Vivaldi and Bach. What about you? Clearly opera is the start, right?
Yeah. Didn't know I was an old man.
You didn't know you were an old man? I didn't know either. So, we all learn a little bit. Yes! Chase the monkey! No! Run! Okay, the only reason that I wanted you to, why was it acceptable for you to be the coward here? I want you to take a careful look at what we see on our screen right now. What do you see on your screen that makes it okay to be a coward here? And not jump further in the back line and get the mini or take the 1v1. Like, you've got a hog in your tail first off, but what else makes this okay to be a coward?
The soldiers right in front.
Yeah, but there's something else even more important. Because you could theoretically take the 1v1 with the soldier, be just alright. Do you see it? Come on, play I Spy with me. What do you see? What do you see?
My team is far.
Your team is what? Yes! Chatty's so smart! Your team is far away. If your team was here, why would I be okay with you taking this 1v1?
Well, if my team was closer, they could support me with the soldier.
They could support you, or they could capitalize off the fact that there's like 3 people chasing you, right?
Yeah, and then they could just demolish the front line.
Yes. Your team is still leaving spawn, so you're going to die if you take this 1v1, or the 2v1 or the 3v1, and nobody's going to get anything out of it, because they're going to kill you, and then your team's going to turn the corner, and then they're going to kill your team. So good. There's your engagement timing coming in right there. Very good. I don't know if that was on purpose or not, but I'm going to pretend that it was purposeful. You want to explain this? What just happened?
This is just stupid.
This is just stupid. Yeah.
I thought I could make the jump, but no.
I feel like this is like the Winston Doomfist mechanic, where you like whip your jump and like whip yourself around a corner, except it doesn't work like that. What should you be doing right now? You have all the information you need right on your screen. What should you be doing right now?
Going up the stairs behind the soldier.
Spooky. Mm-hmm. Smack him. Absolutely smack him. Beat the crap out of him. Take the 1v1. Same thing as the Hanzo. He's by himself, he's isolated, and he's a threat to your team here. Do your job. That's why tanks are annoying in FFA. They're good at winning 1v1s. Right? Abuse that. That's what you're supposed to do. Yes. Now, but the problem is what have we seen? You have used 2 jumps and taken twice as long to the exact same job.
It's taking like 15 seconds.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Interesting bubble there. You bubbled either too early or too late.
I thought he'd just stay. You
bubbled too early to block damage, and you bubbled too late to block it, to like actually do anything meaningful. Yikes. Not good. That's not like that. Like, okay, so like let's pause and let's think about what we could have done better there, because the decision was good, the execution was abysmal, right?
Yeah.
So what could have been done better? Let's go back.
Going up the stairs and using resources around me instead of my cooldowns.
Yeah, you could have either immediately you could have not bubbled here. You could have just taken the damage and tried to bubble the Helix or something like that. You could have immediately bubbled, right? And then you don't take any damage. You don't take any of that 100 damage, right? And then you could have waited bubble, take damage, make him run away, then run after him and then bubble him again. And then you could even have committed jump if you still had bubble. So, I mean, yeah, he's not as good of an angle, but you committed bubble and leap, and you didn't get anything. So. Okay, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do?
Like left for once.
What
team said so.
Yeah, well, I mean.
Hello. My ultimate is charging.
I'm waiting here for the team basically.
Okay.
So I can get a head start on the flank.
Okay. Unfortunate. Ah! So what happens when you get too greedy on your flank? Like, these guys can afford to check their flanks when it's a 5, like when your team is back in spawn, right? So it's better to be like, you have to nail the timing right. So if you had started to flank now as their team is pushing, that Ana's going to be looking in this direction. So you're just a little early. Like you could see this swap just happened, so your team is still in spawn for the most part.
My ultimate is charging.
Okay, go. Ah, you're a little late. So, so we were supposed to be focusing on engagement timing, but what has been wrong with this engagement? It's the exact same situation as the soldier 1v1 earlier, which was what? You were too what with your bubble, or too what with your bubble?
I was too late with my bubble.
And theoretically too early, right? So you were too late or too early. You needed to find somewhere in between. So, well, you needed to choose one or the other. So what's happened here is that you got there too early and you get slept while your team is still in spawn, right?
Yeah.
So what do? Your team is not pushing, right? Your team is not pushing, yes? Yes?
Yes.
And what did you do? You committed bubble and you jumped out. And now your team is pushing, you don't have jump, and you're out of the fight.
My ultimate is charging.
Right?
Right.
And we're thinking about going, and the window has now closed. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. Could he have stayed? Yes. Absolutely, with that cover. Okay, so let's see. 2 coming back from spawn. Fine. Nice! Ha ha ha! Go! No, you don't need healing. Don't make your Ana sit and heal you. Your team is fighting. Go in. Like, you have 400 HP, your jump, and your bubble, and primal, for crying out loud. Go into the back line. Go into the back line. Like, you don't need nano here. Okay, so this is just atrocious. What is the problem? 2 problems right now. One we already discussed, that you're waiting for support, right? When you don't really need it right now. The fight's going on. Your Ana could be doing more important things like pocketing your hog or shooting the Orisa, right? What should you be doing right now? Think about... You should be flanking. You should have gone, hey, I killed the soldier here. I will continue out this way and drop on the first person I see. Bubble them, commit jump to them, and then primal rage as necessary. Yes?
Yes.
Win the fight. Win it. You go back, you lose your positioning, you make your Ana nano you, which, well, you didn't obviously call for the nano, but, like, you force your Ana support. Complete unnecessary. You screw up a jump, and guess what? You're on the front line. Bad stuff happens when you're on the front line. Could you anticipated whole hog? No. But you have hook, you have halt, you have whole hog, you have shotguns, right? You have immortality field, you have the entire enemy team shooting you. So many things go wrong when a Winston plays patty cake with the front line. You probably didn't expect this particular thing, but this is what happens when you continue to engage a front line. So we're finally flanking after, you know, how long? And like, why? Why are you going out? You just killed 2 people. Stay in. You have primal. Primal is a situation where you go, okay, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 people here. We just killed the hog. This is 100% winnable. Win it. Carry the fight. Like, I thought you were jumping for damage and gonna keep going. I'm completely baffled that you're not going back in. So, shoot, dude. Alright, we gotta figure this out because something is dreadfully wrong. Why are you not going in with your primal here? Why are you not walking forward and shooting and then primaling? What caused you to think that that was a bad idea?
I was probably thinking that we're already up by 2, so I shouldn't use an ult.
Okay. Alright. So you're up 1. That was about 5, 10, 15 seconds ago. Okay. Soldier's already back, unfortunately. Okay? Like 15, 20. He's already back. Right?
Yeah.
And your hog just died. And if we're being honest, approximately what's the value of primal in the grand scheme of things?
It's to make space and split up
Okay.
the team.
Is it the most valuable in the game?
No.
No. Will I ever yell at you for using an ult to win a fight that isn't 100% won? No. No.
No.
If you're not sure, it's okay to ult. It's okay to ult, right? Because the result will still be a 1 fight, and that's what you're going for. It's better to use ult and start generating your next ult than to hold on to one and not get anything out of it. Like, percentage-wise, I would always rather use 1 extra ult if I'm sure if I'm not sure if the fight's won, than to hold on to it. Because yeah, you might lose the next fight, but you're gonna 100% lose more fights because you weren't sure. Be sure, because you will generate ult charge leading into the next fight as it is. So, I mean, big surprise here. We drop front line, we don't pursue, we forfeit our positioning, and we choose for whatever reason not to use primal, and guess what happens? Yoink! And now you're gonna use primal, aren't you? I can smell it. I can smell it. I can smell it. I can smell it. I knew it! Is this Primal gonna do anything? I will do 20 push-ups if he gets a single kill with his Primal. Looks like I'm gonna be skinny for a long time. How did I know that this Primal wasn't gonna get any kills?
I didn't use it early enough. I used it too late.
Yep.
So it allowed for more teammates to come back, and Soldier was visoring, and they were also using Bongo.
Yep. Yep, it's over. It's over. They use ults to secure the fight. Was this visor wasted? Probably. Was maybe the Bongo wasted? Probably. But the difference between your team and their team is they actually won the fight. Right?
Yeah.
And you used ults too, but they used their ults first. So they win the fight. Bye. They nanoed as well. That's actually pretty funny. Okay. So definitely an over ult from their end. But again, that's the second time that we've said, oh, they just over ulted. And guess what? We still haven't capped. So, okay. So we held on to an ult really needlessly. And like think about like the last time we used Primal. Like I'm gonna be pulling it way back. Like back in my day when we used Primal. No. Like was this fight already won?
Yeah.
Probably like 65%, 70%. But guess what? You used Primal. Was it the end of the world that you used Primal here? No, it was okay. Like there was still 4 of them alive, so just to be sure, it's okay. No worries. You know, you're not playing for like a competitive team that can track ults and things like that, and that's okay. Guarantee it. Not a big deal. And now we have you in a clearly like unsure fight. You hold on to your Primal and then you use it when it's already lost. Proactive. And don't wait for it. Again, it comes down to you just being proactive and continue to use the positioning that you have earned. You earned that high ground. You earned the right with Primal to continue going in, and you chose not to.
This flank is questionable too, though.
What?
This flank is questionable because I already took some damage.
As long
I
as
don't know where I'm flanking.
No, it's fine. Just as long as you grab the Mega. Like, here's the thing. As long as you can see that they're not looking at you, then it's fine. If Hog is, like, right-click spamming this door, then yes. But you could check that. Like, you can look here. And if he's looking here, then, yeah, don't go here. But he's not, so just grab the Mega and you're fine. You see? He's not paying attention to you, so this is fine.
Yeah.
Nice, nice. Your team is here. Please go. Please go. Sure. Sure. Ooh, unfortunate. Good. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Good. 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 Okay. 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 So this was all types of messy, right? Why was it messy? Why was it messy?
I never got a secured flank.
Right. They kept checking you at the flanks.
Yeah.
But that's okay. Like, that's going to happen sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's going to happen. Your team is there. And you know what? If you really think about it, if they're the one that keeps checking your flanks, okay, you're kind of doing your job there, right? It's not the end of the world. As long as you don't just go in and feed, right? As long as you... And what do I really like about this right here? So not this. This is fine. You don't feed. You go, crap, I'm not going to use the cooldown. I'm not going to waste things. I'm going to let them shoot at me. What is phenomenal about this right here? What is absolutely delectable about this right here?
I'm drawing so much attention and that makes a lot of space for my team to move forward even more.
But you could do the same thing from this flank or from the flank on the right. Why is this particular spot better?
High ground.
High ground. And what do you not see here or here or here? There's no enemies, right?
Yeah.
There's no enemies here. This is free space. Take it. Like, that's why mobility is so important. Because you get to take all the spots that they don't use. And the thing is it's not just like, because it's like you could also go to spawn and that space isn't taken either. But this space is bad for the enemy team. Like, if they don't control this is bad because you could use it against them. You could jump on the backline, right? Or drop in the backline. So you find space that's open and free and safe And now that your Ana can pocket you, and now they have the exact same problem where they have to turn around and check their butt cheeks because you're going to slap them if you don't. Right? Like, look at this. Look at this. Your Genji and your Hanzo are just annihilating them. Why are your Genji and Hanzo free?
Because they're all drawn to me.
Yeah, half of them are looking at you. I mean, you don't even need to get the whole team to look at you. Just 2 or 3. And now, no healing. Good bubble. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I bubbled there to cut off.
The bubble was no. The bubble was very good. Bubble was good. What I don't like is this. So here, what should you not do, right? Why is this a mistake? What does she still probably have?
Well, I just saw that she used both of her cooldowns.
Oh, you did?
So that's why.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Well,
okay.
I heard sleep.
Holy, you heard sleep.
Yeah.
Very nice. You're right. I just heard it. You're right. Beautiful.
That's the only reason why I walked past.
Okay, chat. We got a big brain in here. Nice job. Very good. I was gonna say if she still has sleep, you want to go for a jump melee combo and try and burst it off before she can land her cooldown. But if she doesn't have sleep, then you don't have to worry about it. Nice job. Shut up recently. So yeah, fine. Clean it up, and you win. Very good. Okay, we'll watch it. We'll do a little bit more.
My ultimate is charging.
Here's sleep. I'm sorry. Look, listen. How many of you big brains in chat could track a cooldown? I guarantee you, chat, you're the equivalent of a Genji trying to blade into a McCree with flashbang, a Brig with shield bash, an Ana with sleep dart, and Nade, a Hog with hook, a Narissa with halt, and a Lucio with boob. And you know every single one of you guys would do that. Idiots. Okay. Again, the question comes down. What flank is, or what space is uncontested? Use that flank. And go in now. Go in now. Go. No, just go. Nice. Okay, now just jump out. This fight is basically lost. Right. I would have preferred you to not drop here. So you go into flank, your team gets picked before you're able to get there in time. This is fine. Just reset. Because the problem with that is like, oh, I got ult charge. Yeah, but so did he. And the difference is the damage that was you did to him got healed. The damage he did to you didn't get healed because you died. It's gone. So you're trading 2 for 1, and you don't want to make that trade, right? So go back to spawn, and then that way your healers get this ult charge, and he doesn't get any ult charge. At least he gets something here. Because yeah, you get ult charge, but he gets his damage ult charge, and his supports will heal him up for extra.
I didn't realize he was there until last second.
Oh, okay. Either way. No one a fight's lost, reset. It's especially important as a main tank because that's a lot of ult charge. Like, if you could get out with, if you're a Reinhardt and you're, the fight is lost and you know it and you can get out with 200 HP left, that's 300 ult charge you feed your supports, which is I'm trying to think about most support ults. That's 15 to 20% of a support ult. So, definitely worth. You're 4.8k in Lucio Ball, so you hear all cooldowns. Imagine being masochistic enough to enjoying Lucio Ball. What a awful game mode.
Yeah, I hate that.
Yes, all intelligent people do, so I expect so. Okay. Let's get ready. You are gonna tell me which way you're gonna go, and then you're gonna tell me which way you should have gone and why.
I'm gonna go left side.
Okay. Why?
Which I should have.
Why should you not go left side?
Because it's easier for them to see me, and they can even land cooldowns on me pretty easily from there.
There's a distance between you and them, right? And you don't like that. You want to be immediately there. And that's what's great about high ground, yes? Because watch this. What happens is you turn that distance and you invert it. So yes, your target is still a distance between you, but the target can't reach you up there. Hey, come down here! They can't shoot you like they normally can because of ledges and cliffs and gutters and things like that get in the way. So then you can close that distance with gravity without walking or jumping, right? And not to mention, you're also a lot sneakier. And sneak attacks are the most important aspect of being a Winston. That is a very important value that you're losing here. So it's a longer distance. You're not only that, but you're slower.
And my Ashe is dead.
Well, like your Ashe would have been dead regardless of whether you went left or right. But, like, you see this? Like, you're scared. Why are you scared right now? Why are you scared?
Because they're able to kill me.
Yes, you should be scared, you idiot. Like, you could have gone right side and dropped onto their backline. And if anything, their backline is more likely to be over there than it is over here because their kite path toward their spawn is that way. So you're less likely to find squishies on this side. So not only is this less offensively value, it's also less defensively value. Once again, that concept comes up. Like, you can see it. Like, do you see what I see? Okay, like, wait for it. Boink! What do you see right there?
Enemies.
What do you see right here?
High ground that's free.
Yes. You could literally drop on top of the Ana and the Batiste without using a single cooldown. And the best part about it too is it's not just it's safer to get there, it's also safer to get out. Because you might be here, you might start getting shot, and yeah, you got cover, but this, you drop, they shoot at you, you jump up the high ground, and you're gone. Right? Whereas over here, yeah, you have a mega health pack, you have a cover, but you have no real escape route. And escape route is worth way more than cover. So, I mean, you're coaching yourself. You told me why this sucked. The thing that you literally told me would happen, happened. So, I mean, yeah, we could say, you should have used Primal, what the heck? You should have used Jump to escape. But it doesn't matter. You set yourself up for failure. So I don't know why. It's like the whole thing is the earlier, like, oh, the first jump you did where you almost didn't block sleep, you almost got slept. Like, a stupid coach is going to go, oh, you need to bubble faster, right? But that's not the problem. You set yourself up to fail by going the wrong way, right?
Right.
And you told me the right way. I didn't tell you. You told me, and you told me why too, which makes me know, like, helps me to know that you understand what the right way is. So I don't have to go through and coach you. You just need to start applying it. You need to start thinking about this because you're smarter than what we're seeing right now. Yes?
Yes.
You're as smart as a Masters player or a high Masters player.
One thing I'm bad at is just applying.
Yes, and let me tell you something. So that's the question. So I don't think we're going to see a whole much here. Yeah. So, okay, if I am good enough as a coach to be able to coach contenders players, right? One step below Overwatch League. And you're smart enough to be a GM monkey, how come I'm not a 4.6K player, and how come you are not a a GM player? What's the difference? You know, you have the knowledge, but you're not applying it. What's the problem? Is there are you missing a genet? Like, is there a gene missing? Are you genetically like retarded? Like, what's the problem? What's the problem?
I think it's
Don't think too hard. It's a really easy answer.
I have no idea.
Right? Do you see what's on your screen? Or did you close Q already? Practice, right? It's practice. It's effective practice, right? Because let me tell you something. If it doesn't take a genius to put his hand on a hot stove and go, ow, that hurts, right? That's an automatic reaction. You don't have to be trained that, right? But if I say, yo, Reaper, and you turn around and you look at me, that's a trained reaction. That took time. Right? Just like when people said, hey, moron, and I turn around now. That was a trained reaction. Okay? You know? And there are trained reactions and trained decisions that you have to learn to make on the fly. They take a lot of time. Okay? Like, just like you were telling me, you're doing the melee cancel with your jump. That was probably something that you had to, like, think about for, I don't know how many games, for how many hours.
I've been doing it for 2 years.
Yeah, right?
Thing.
It took a long time for you to think about that and for you to be able to just do it almost without thinking, right? You might still think about it occasionally, but it's pretty automatic now. So for you, you need to have that same level of conscious practice with these type of things, which today wasn't even really your engagement timing. It was about your use of your pathing. Your pathing And what do you well, I don't know. What do you tell me? I've been sitting here. What else do you think is need to be working on, or do you really think this is just it? Because this is a pretty big topic. Was there any little thing that you think you could be working on from what you saw here?
My bubbles have always been bad, so
maybe scouting or more, or you know, bubbles, sure. So you go into your games, and now you're thinking about bubbles, and now you're thinking about your pathing, right? Now, I hate to do this to overcomplicate it, but how is your pathing affected? It's not just based on map geometry. It's based on what?
It's based on scouting.
Right. And what? Why? Why?
Because there's different ways you have to path according to the team comp that they have, the enemy.
Right.
So like, you have to path differently when you're diving in Ana compared to a Moira, let's say.
Yep. With an Ana, you got to be sneakier, right? With a Moira, you can just walk right up to her because she can't do anything to you, right? Same thing with a Roadhog Reaper. Like you could, you have to respect their ability to punish your dives a lot harder, right? So again, you know this. I'm just telling you knowledge you already know, but you have to give yourself the correct information, right? And then you have to choose your pathing accordingly. And then once you get to where you want to go, then you have to use your bubbles properly, right? You see the chain?
Yeah.
But if you start thinking about your bubbles before you've even scouted, then you are going to fail on your bubbles. Because it doesn't matter how good your bubble usage is, if you don't know what you're supposed to be doing, it's going to fail. That you could be the best McCree. Go ahead.
I keep trying to think about one thing, like, and only one thing, because I wanted to improve at it. Because to be able to improve at that one thing, I'd have to keep doing the same thing over and over.
Yes. Yep. Exactly. So most you and I aren't smart enough to be able to practice 7 different things at the same time. I don't think anybody is, right? So let's simplify that. Then you know what? Let's remove bubbles. Like I said, let's just remove bubbles. Let's just do scouting, and then how does that affect your pathing? And that's good because you could do that every single fight. Did they make any swaps? Where are they? And how am I going to path? Can you practice that?
Yeah.
You have any questions?
I don't think, no.
All right, man. Hope that was helpful. I appreciate you hopping in, dude.